Hey guys, Scott here with another episode of Trilogy Talk, and in this episode we're going to talk about the power of the putter. So a lot of people think about the putter in only a small proximity of the basket. 10, 20, 30, 40 feet of the basket, putter goes in the basket. That's what they think about. They don't use it too much beyond that. I've talked and listened to a lot of players. They don't even think about a putter for secondary shots, long shots, up shots, things like that. It's pretty much just within the green. But there's really so many things you can do, and if you really look at a lot of pros use a putter in multiple spots. I mean, Simon Lizotte has got the big video of throwing the 490 foot over the water with a putter. They go a long ways. Paige Bjerkes is known for throwing her judge throughout her rounds, and when she won the World Championships, she gave a lot of credit to the fact that she was able to throw her judge throughout that round a lot. So some of the things that when you go to look at how to use a putter outside of the green area, you got to find that putter that works for you. And in this example, and in the video that I'm going to show you, I use the Judge. Go Team Judge. All right, so I had to put that in there. Come on, guys. But there are a lot of putters that are out there that you can use. And depending on what you use, for me, like a deputy is a straight to slight right putter, but for several people, the deputy might be perfectly straight. But for most people, like a Judge, a Warden, beaded or beadless, either way, are pretty straight flying discs. So really what I want to educate is how to look at when to use those putters. So, all right, guys, so here we got some videos. And in these videos, I'm throwing the Judge. And these judges are about 2 to 3 years old, soft judges. So they're pretty beat in. And as you're going to see here, I'm throwing them pretty straight on a lot of these shots. Following up here, I'm going to compare it against a Biofusion Verdict and a Lucid Gatekeeper. Both for me are very straight. The difference is a little bit of distance. So for the Judges, I was getting those at around 230 feet, and my Verdicts Gatekeeper I was getting around 280 feet. So approximately a 50-foot difference. I wasn't throwing them at full power. I was throwing them at about an 80% power. There was about a 10-mile-an-hour wind in this situation. So just to kind of give you the layout. But again, 50 feet is kind of the number between the Judge or my putter and my mid-range. So the first thing I really want to talk about is when do you throw a putter for the secondary shot off the tee? So for me, I like to build consistency. I like to build that muscle memory. And what I see a lot of people, or as I've talked to a lot of people, say you get up to a shot and the hole is 230 feet, 220 feet, 240 feet, somewhere in that area. Well, if you're throwing like I am, your mid-range 280 feet, well, if I throw without changing my style of throw, using the same throwing style, technique, muscle memory, based on that 280, I'm going to blow by it every time, assuming I threw it straight. So what I'm going to have to do if I don't go with a putter is I'm going to have to take that mid-range and I'm going to have to slow down. I'm going to have to throw it at 80%, 70%, 60%, depending on what you're comfortable with in your throwing style. But me personally, I'm going to have to slow down. Well, when I slow down from how I'm used to holding that disc and used to throwing those mid-ranges, typically my accuracy is going to be off a little bit because I've changed that muscle memory. I've changed that consistency of how my body knows to throw it. However, I now know that I have approximately a 50-foot difference on my putter. For me, I can now say, you know what? I can throw my Judge 50 feet shorter and not have to change anything about my game. I can throw it just as hard as I would normally throw it. I can throw it at the angle that I would normally throw it, and I'm going to reduce that distance. So the disc, the mid-range, and the putter do the same thing for me. At least those ones I described, the Judge, the Gatekeeper, and the beat-up Bio Verdicts. And again, depending on you, could be a Truth, Warship, EMAC Truth. I mean, there's a lot of variations, but you got to find that happy medium. And instead of always going to that mid-range, because that's what you're used to, and you're not used to thinking of a putter, look at the putter. Look at the putter for going slower. Look at the putter for shorter distances. Again, knowing that it can go far. So that's kind of my spiel on looking at the putters. But practice with a putter. Throw some sidearms with it from short distance, 100 feet. They can go very straight. Adjust on how to hold it. You throw it very straight. Again, putters can go 230. Simon Lizotte, again, is throwing it over 400, nearly 500 over water. They can go a long ways. So now I have a putter challenge for you. If you really want to learn how to be better with the putter as a whole, using that tool as a whole on the course, go out and play a normal round. You keep your score just like you would any other time, put it on UDisc. But then go out and play another round later on, maybe the same day, with nothing but your putter. Don't take your bag at all. Just take your putter. A couple putters if you want, but just your putter. And go out and play that same round, that same layout with just your putter and see how you do. In a lot of cases, you'll find there really isn't a lot of difference between throwing just your putter or your mid-range or your driver. Now, yes, if you're in a wide open, super windy course and the holes are 500 feet, you're probably going to be affected a little bit, but still, it'll give you the opportunity to see how far those putters can fly and how to control those putters. For the most part, if you have a straight putter and you're throwing it controlled and smooth, it is going to stay straight. If it goes to the right, that means you put a right angle on it. If it goes to the left, and I mean left fairly quickly out of your hand, means you put a left angle on it. I mean, even a straight putter is going, for a right-handed person, backhand is going to get that little bit of fade at the end. But for the most part, that flight for a straight putter that you know is straight, they're going to do what you tell it to do. So not only are you going to learn what kind of distance you can get out of it, when you can use it, but it should also help you with the angles of the disc. If you can get to a point where you're throwing that putter perfectly straight for a good chunk of the time, 90% of the time, well, then when you go to the mid-range that you're going to throw virtually the same way but harder, you're going to have the line. You're going to be a lot less likely to flip it over or release it early. And then when you get to that driver, it's kind of the same thing. You're building that muscle memory on how to throw flat, how to throw straight, or whatever angle that you normally throw. I throw fairly flat, maybe a slight hyzer left angle, but for the most part, I'm a pretty flat thrower. And that's just the way that I do it. Again, every person is different. Everybody's going to use discs differently, and everybody's game is different. But really, the purpose of this video is for you to look at the putter beyond the green. Go out and play a full round. Do the putter challenge. See what you can do. Comment below. Let me know if it improved for you at all, or what kind of things that you learned from just throwing the putter. If you're already throwing the putter for a lot more than just the green, you're ahead of the game. You're doing a good job. But even then, try going out and playing a full round with just your putter. See what kind of difference there is. If you're a newer player and you're playing with friends that are better than you and they're not taking advantage of the putter, challenge them to the putter challenge as well. You'll probably find that your games are going to be a lot closer because their speeds are different. The accuracy is going to be different. So they're going to teach you a little bit more, again, how to control it. I love putters for when I just need to throw it straight. I need to shorten the distance. Sometimes a putter, when you've got OBs on a hole that is OB left and right, doesn't matter how far it is, and you just don't want to risk going OB, throw a putter. If you need to get a little confidence or comfortable for that right side OB, but fade back to the left, then throw a little bit more of an overstable putter like a Cenis or a Slammer or something like that. Again, there's so many things you can do with the putter. You can do big churns with the putters, forehand rollers with the putter, sidearms, so many things you can do with the putter. So that is all I have for this episode. Again, comment below on how you use a putter. And until next time, keep sharing the Trilogy love with the world. See ya.